The only way to win this contest is to climb the ladder and retrieve the Premier Tag Team Championship.
This is a war 13 months in the making. For the top prize that has surrounded the latter half of this rivalry. That's the ladder with two T's, no pun intended. Atticus Cogar on the right, the most despicable, miserable human being I've ever met. Otis Cogar, now to the left of the shot. Ended the careers of Dropkick Dave and Uppercut Ulysses, and that's what Atticus thinks of all of us. Ended the career of Dropkick Dave and Uppercut Ulysses February 2017, and have held those masks around their necks as symbols of conquest and souvenirs of the destruction of someone's life ever since. They are sick, they are sadistic, they are depraved, they are unconscionable. Tonight they have a chance to destroy their top rivals for good, the rivals that appeared in the ashes of Dave and Ulysses, Crummels and Defarge, who fight for their honor, fight to retrieve those masks and return them to Chikara where they belong, and fight to gain the Tag Team Championships of Premier Championship Wrestling.
And fight seems like too civilized a term for what's about to happen.
Crummels and Defarge have pursued the Cogars for many, many months. A bloody assault on pay-per-view at Welterweight 2, followed by what can best be described as a torture session our cameras did not catch after the event, left Crummels and Defarge physically and psychologically broken and out of the company for 3 months. They returned at the start of the year with a vengeance, and thanks to, well, their match being signed thanks to me after the Cobras assaulted me, they had Jimmy Jacobs to even the odds. And as a result of that matchup, Crummels and Defarge could make any match they wanted tonight. This is the match Crummels and Defarge chose, but did they dig their hole deeper, putting the Cogars in an anything goes environment? Let's go to London.
First are the challengers. With a combined shoe size of 23, they are Chikara's traveling businessmen, Sonny Defarge and Cornelius Crummels. And their opponents, representing the culmination, at a combined weight of 387 pounds, they are the Premier Tag Team Champions, Atticus, Otis Cogar.
You see Atticus and Otis pacing, bloodthirsty, ready to feast on their prey. Crummels and Defarge a bit more measured, but not at all relaxed. The first ladder match in Premier Championship Wrestling history, as all 4 men realize the daunting task that awaits them. The tag titles hanging high above as the Cobras get cheap shots in.
If the Crummels and Defarge, there's a question looming over you. You know the depths you're going to have to go to fight the Cobras. You know that this is, you're entering their realm, you are playing their game. And you have to ask yourself, are you willing to go that deep into that pit? And saying, yes, I'm willing to do it is one thing, but then being in the ring and doing it, well, that's a whole other thing. And right now, Crummels and Defarge both have to wonder, am I really about to do what I've set myself to?
A struggle for the ladder early takes Atticus down. Cornelius Crummels on Atticus Cogar. It is Otis on Sonny Defarge for a moment. Again, obviously retrieve the ladder, climb up it, retrieve the Tag Team Championships, but easier said than done with so many bodies and moving parts. Suplex on the larger Cogar by Defarge, and down with the elbow comes Crummels. These men have done so much to each other, so much physical pain, so much anguish. How do you neutralize both opponents? I don't think either of these teams go into this match knowing the answer. We just have to find out through trial and error.
Yeah, there is no. It's not like you have a connect the dots that you're looking to do. It's more like, are you willing to do what needs to be done?
That's a great way of looking at it. And the Cogars, I think, are more willing to stoop to such desperate means, to stoop to such lows, to hurt and maim another human being without second thought. Crummels and Defarge, however, can they put themselves in that environment against the Cogars? I think they can.
But if that conscience is still there, can they survive the Cogars?
Atticus, the German suplex.
All it's going to take is one moment of questioning, and I guarantee you the Cogars will be on top of that.
Notice one quick counter. Otis bailed out his brother, and Atticus was able to drive his foe to the canvas very hard. And now the Cogars double team. Now the Cogars pick the bones, as they do best. Culmination also has the welterweight championship. We've had a stranglehold over the tag team titles. Keep in mind, it was the tag team championship finals, the tournament finals in September. These four brawled all over the building. I had no choice but it turned into an impromptu street fight. The Cogars won that championship matchup after using the tag titles as a weapon, the same tag titles they had yet to earn. Now the titles are not in play, they're hanging high above.
Crummels and Defarge have to be questioning, what have I gotten myself into? What have we gotten ourselves into?
Well, it was on our social media, Facebook and Twitter, after the matchup got announced, after Jimmy Jacobs had left the building, and Crummels and Defarge are making their way out of the building as well. The Cogars ambushed Crummels and Defarge, a concerto, as Otis looks up the titles, a concerto across the ringside announcers table. Crummels was left motionless. Defarge was locked out of the main hallway. Couldn't interrupt. There's an uppercut. Uppercut again. Shades an uppercut Ulysses by Sonny Defarge as Atticus retrieves uppercut in the ring again. Atticus retrieves another ladder. Uppercut.
And then just one vicious blow.
Atticus. Oh, Atticus channeling Terry Funk. Oh, but he hit his own brother.
I don't think it bugs him that much. Let's be honest.
I'm sure they've done worse to each other. But look at Crummels. Crummels drop kicking the ladder. Atticus' head and neck wrung out in between.
Just essentially him getting dropped on his neck, what with that ladder being where it was. Crummels, am I correct? That's Crummels?
That's right.
Setting up the ladder.
At least for now it is. Who knows what these guys may look like after this match. And Otis not giving Crummels a chance. Once that side slam countered. DDT by Crummels. And Otis's head just narrowly missed that ladder as well.
I don't know if you saw, but Atticus actually pulled the ladder out of the way, trying to save his brother a little bit.
Maneuver by Atticus, as much as I hate to admit that. I tried to appeal to these Cogars in the center of the ring, and I got the hell beat out of me for it. These brothers are absolutely heartless. They're soulless.
You don't talk to a snake, Jimmy. You run from it, or you cut its head off.
We'll see which one of those Crummels and Defarge can do. And Crummels went to charge in, and the Cogars springboard the ladder back into Crummels, and Otis the senton. Good grief.
And all that weight coming down on that ladder, pushing down into Crummels. Crummels?
And now will the Cogars capitalize? Crummels and Defarge are both in a bad way. I can only imagine what sinister act Atticus has in his mind.
I was going to say, he looked like he was going to wedge that ladder initially, and then he was just happy with the platform that he built.
Otis went to use a battering ram of Crummels' skull. Defarge saves his partner, and now it's Defarge attempting a slam. Couldn't get the big man over, and Atticus with an assist as well.
Oh, here we go.
And Defarge's battering ram. Defarge sacrificing himself or his partner, but it pays off at least to keep Crummels alive. But what toll did it take on Sonny Defarge? And it could get worse. Oh! Catapult face first into the ladder. Atticus surveying the scene, directing traffic. Atticus is the sick and twisted evil genius, if you can call him that, of this Cogar clan.
Atticus is the gun, Otis is the bullet.
That's a great way of putting it. Slingshot. Crummels face first in the ladder.
And did you see the smile on Otis's face as he hit him with the ladder? It was like, the game worked. The plan worked. Mousetrap.
Torturing human bodies is a hobby to these two. And now the Cogars are going to climb for these championships. They're almost there. They're almost there. Defarge has Atticus. I think Crummels has a hold of Otis.
If I'm Atticus right now, I'm taking out Defarge. Defarge?
Yeah.
Defarge. Boy, it's weird that I can't keep the two guys.
Knee to the skull of Defarge. Otis hits the ladder hard.
Anyway, if I'm Atticus, I'm looking to take one of them out while Otis gets to the top of the ladder. Or vice versa. I don't know that I would both be trying to climb the ladder.
That's a good point. I think the Cogars want to send a message. Now you see Atticus pulls that ladder down, doesn't want Defarge or Crummels to have an opportunity. More pain and punishment must be inflicted.
I'm going to say, in a match like this, the only thing worse than seeing your opponent set up the ladder is to have them take down the ladder, because you know that they have evil intentions.
Shots by Atticus.
He had him throttled there.
Making Defarge his personal plaything. Pull the trigger.
Oh.
But it's Defarge who jumps Atticus on his head! Atticus lands hard on the ladder.
Just dumped over his head right into that ladder. No easy way coming down off of that, Joe.
And now it's Defarge and Otis. The two bigger halves of the respective teams in a mid-ring collision.
And Otis just peppering shots in.
Oh, what a hard clothesline. You can hear that impact throughout this building. Drops the ladder with malicious intent. Oh, Otis may be going senton again, but Defarge rolled out of the way. And what is Atticus doing? He's moving the ringside table.
Otis getting tossed.
Oh, this is going to get a lot wilder before it gets any calmer. Again, how far will these men have to stoop as Atticus with a ring apron over Crummels is beating the hell out of him.
Defarge coming for the... Oh, tried to come to the rescue.
Only wound up in worse shape.
I was going to say, where did the Cogar brothers go?
Wait a second here. Oh, no. I think they're going for the pitch black forecast. Atticus is telling Otis to powerbomb him, and Defarge last second makes the save, and Otis gets tripped up.
Splatted right down onto that apron.
Atticus was begging for Otis to drop his adversary into that neck breaker. We've seen many athletes taste that maneuver in the past. Thankfully, Defarge and Crummels are still standing. Look out. Oh, Atticus kicks the ladder into Crummels.
And look at the snarl on Atticus's face.
Yeah, that's a face I know all too well, that expression. No. Atticus in a suplex.
Nope.
Second time attempted. Can Defarge turn this around?
Oh, he has him up. Oh!
My God!
Right through the ladder. Right onto that hardwood floor. There's zero give.
The ladder is twisted and mangled. Just imagine the condition of Atticus' spine.
Well, we have a ladder. He's setting it up.
Crummels is looking to climb. Oh, you gotta believe his body is racked with pain already after what we've seen. And here's Otis. Oh, no. God! And it's Crummels powerbombed into the ladder.
And you saw him just, that ladder just bend under him and then throw him back out.
Yeah, that force that was built up on impact just gave Crummels a second violent landing. And Otis has an opportunity now.
With Crummels and Defarge down, now is the time. Get up there.
Will the Cogars retain the tag team championship? Not at this point. Defarge interrupts.
Both Crummels and Defarge up now.
Look at the welt on the back of Crummels from that ladder. His entire back is turning colors. Uppercut! And Otis sent flying from the ladder.
I don't know if he landed on that second ladder that was laying there or not. I couldn't quite tell from our angle. I see blood coming out of his mouth.
Otis is hurt. There's a giant welt in the back of Crummels. All four of these men are hurt. Atticus went through a ladder.
Atticus finally back up and in the action.
Oh. Maneuvers the ladder back into the skull of Defarge.
Oh, good headbutt.
Atticus looking to climb now. But again, what condition must his body be in?
And Otis is standing guard.
Maneuver.
Now he was paying attention to
whoa,
his
whoa,
brother.
whoa. Atticus! Oh! Atticus adjusted midstream, caught Crummels with a kick. It looked like Atticus was going to be elevated to the floor, and Atticus climbs again.
And now he's running to beat hell to get up there.
But Defarge is waiting. Into the uppercut!
Beautiful uppercut by Defarge. Just pulling him, that Cogar, off the ladder.
And Defarge, if he can dispose of Atticus, it may be a clear path for the team of Crummels and Defarge.
He has him up.
Uppercut. Could this be a Crummels and Defarge double team? Here we go now. And Atticus interrupts.
Waited too long.
Drop kick, the counter, the springboard, and one for Defarge as well.
Defarge just down. Atticus looking to go up.
This is something Atticus does very often. What's he attempting? Look out! Oh, Crummels sends Atticus to the table!
Oh, he landed square, Joe.
Atticus said, "This is for you, Gory." I think he was going to try Gory's double stomp, but it did not pay off. Atticus is motionless. And Crummels and Defarge have a chance.
They have a solid ladder. They have no one trying to stop them. Otis coming into the ring.
Well, Otis has a crutch. God. The crutch was the weapon of choice that took out Dave and Ulysses a year ago. And it's Crummels with a curb stomp to Otis.
A curb stomp off that ladder. He stomped on his head from 5 feet up. Now Otis down. Crummels and Defarge both trying to climb the ladder.
Now this could be their path to salvation. Wait a minute. Remy LeVay! Remy LeVay, the other culmination member of the building tonight, We should have known he'd get involved.
There's no disqualification here.
And now it's 3 out of 2 culmination. Strength in numbers just like it always is. This was the trio that fought off Crummels, Defarge, and Jimmy Jacobs, or at least tried to. But Jimmy Jacobs isn't here tonight. And Atticus saying, get him up. That sick neck breaker that I felt, that a number of others have felt. And now, the drop kick and uppercut masks put on to Crummels and Defarge as a token of their conquest. They did this to Alex Jordan. They did it to Jimmy Jacobs. They're going to do it to Crummels and Defarge now and send one last message, one last psychological game to Crummels and Defarge.
Otis has him up.
And Remy has Defarge up. Wait a minute, it's Alex Jordan! Alex Jordan has Remy LeVay!
Boom, uppercut.
And the sides have been even now. And the Cogars didn't expect this at all. Alex Jordan standing up for what's right.
They look dumbfounded at the moment. It's like they've lost focus. They're paying attention to what's going on with Remy.
Focus, Cogars, focus. But Alex Jordan is beating the hell out of Remy LeVay. Oh, look at this. Defarge and Crummels to their feet, or maybe it's not Defarge and Crummels. Maybe it's the ghosts of Premier Past. Drop kick, uppercut, uppercut, drop kick, uppercut. Oh, it's like they've seen a ghost. It's like their past has come back to haunt them. Uppercut,
Drop kick.
uppercut.
Drop kick.
That wasn't the drop kick or an uppercut.
That was a splash.
But I'll tell you what, the message sent. The momentum has swung. A drop kick attempt was countered. Atticus is fighting for his life now.
2-on-1. Crummels and Defarge clearly have their second
Uppercut.
win. Oh. Drop kick.
By Atticus. My God, this is wild. The Cogars thought the masks on the bodies of their victims would be one last calling card to end them. It gave them renewed life. But now, Defarge didn't see the crutch. They got broken across the back.
And the mask taken off Defarge.
Splintered wood is everywhere. And the Cogars got the mask back that they've held captive for 13 months.
And now refocusing on the titles. Now's the time. Get up there.
And it looks like Otis wants to get a second ladder. He held up 2 fingers. And I guess the Cogars are going to make sure that no matter what happens here, one of them is going to make their way to the Tag Team Championships.
There you go. I don't think it's a bad idea to get a fresh ladder out there before you go climbing.
Not at all. And Atticus and Otis start the climb. But here's Crummels and Defarge. Crummels and Defarge have a hold of those masks.
And it's like the Cogars have to choose right now. Are they holding on to the masks or going after the titles?
They're not going to choose. They got a death grip on both in their eyes. And all 4 men are fighting.
Atticus has a belt.
He's got his fingertips, but he hasn't gained possession yet. All 4 men on top of these ladders.
Just blows going everywhere here.
He's going to get the edge. The Cogars have them. The Cogars have them. No! Defarge and Crummels.
Fighting back.
The Cogars' heads collide. They're down.
They're down.
They dropped the mask. Crummels and Defarge have the mask finally.
And they're right by the titles.
And now they've got the championships.
They have beaten the Cogars at their own game.
and Defarge the victory after 13 months of pain, of agony, of psychological torture. The Cogar brothers' spell has been broken. The stolen masks have been retrieved. That euphoria the Cogars have felt, the power they have retained over this and every other team has finally been broken as Crummels and Defarge finally become Premier Tag Team Champions. Crummels and Defarge get their belts. They can return the masks to uppercut and drop kick. And the Cogars, well, the Cogars, I can't imagine this is the end for the Cogars. This level of anger doesn't just sit. You can see the look of hopelessness, defeat on the face of Atticus and Otis as Defarge and Crummels are finally on top of the tag team mountain, and their sins, their demons have been exorcised from them. They are finally free. They're finally free to regain the most important thing right up there with the match and the titles, and that's peace of mind. The Cogars no longer hold power over Crummels or Defarge. The pit of blackness that the Cogars have dug, few have climbed out of. I congratulate Crummels and Defarge for being one of the few to have survived it and to have come out the other side. Crummels and Defarge, they're victorious. They survive a ladder war here at Premier Championship Wrestling. And a year of agony reaches its own culmination, but not the one the Cogars wanted. Congratulations, Defarge and Crummels, and good night from Cleveland here at Elevation.